All right. So, good day, and thank you for joining us this morning. I am Joe Rosen. I'm the president of Parkinson's Resource Organization, and we're here today to tell you more things to know right now. And today I'm going to introduce you to California Clinical Trials. Some of you who've known us for many years know we've worked with California Clinical Trials over those years. So it's California Clinical Trials Medical Group, which is a medical research practice in Glendale, California, and they are offering they've got information on new trials, and we're asking people to get involved with clinical trials. We'll find out today more why. So I'm very honored today to be speaking to the medical director of California Clinical Trials, Dr. Lev Gertsik. Welcome aboard, and thank you for being here this morning.
Uh, Thank you for having us, Ms. Rosen. We're happy to continue participating in the efforts of keeping the community informed. California Clinical Trials Medical Group, if I may, to introduce us, is an early phase clinical unit that is associated with Parexel, a global clinical research organization founded more than 35 years ago. Our unit here in Glendale supports development of new medicines involving diverse patient population. Our unit, and in the current COVID environment, it's not very easy. The
Are you
safety.
still open?
Yes, we are. We,
Okay.
we, we are open. We have safety and well-being of our study participants, as an utmost important things in our mind. And as a precautionary measure, actually, Parexel had temporarily paused activities when the pandemic hit. However, we have now resumed, our work following all applicable guidance from health and regulatory authorities. So at this time we do encourage potential volunteers to go to our website and sign up with their contact information, and we'll reach out.
And later
As
on,
we,
we'll get down to how they can easily
yeah,
do that as well.
yes.
So, why don't this is about educating the audience, and the audience today is anywhere. It's throughout the United States, actually throughout the world. So let's tell our audience why it would be important to get involved in clinical trials.
Yeah, the clinical trials are very, very important. The pandemic shows now how important it is, because clinical trials now, everybody's talking about clinical trials. I would like to add, and proudly add, that we are, as a group, involved in research efforts on COVID-19. Globally, our organization supported more than 50 projects, ranging
Wow.
from antiviral drugs to immunomodulatory drugs or vaccines, if you wish. We in Glendale just have finished our first COVID-19 study.
Oh,
But
I'm so that makes my heart sing.
yeah, uh, answering your questions, and talking to a potential participant, as a participant in a clinical trial, you're making substantial contribution to finding new and better ways to help yourself and other patients in the future, to help us find better medicines. You as a participant are essentially helping advance modern medicine and potentially improving, even saving lives for decades to come. There is absolutely no way to get new medicines to the public if volunteers do not participate in clinical trials.
I know, and
Simple
we're
as
so
that.
proud. Several of we know we have quite a few constituents who have already participated, and we're so proud of them and so pleased with you. I think we should tell people a little more. There are different phases in clinical trials. We're hearing that a lot today too over the news. Can you tell us what these phases? What are the different phases?
Right. So phase one trials are the first studies in people, which evaluate how an investigational new drug should be given, how often, and what dose is safe. We look at how the investigational drug is distributed in the body and how it is eliminated from the body. During this phase, we're also trying to validate the mechanism of action that had been established in animal studies. That's why we call it translating from animals to humans. A phase 1 trial usually enrolls healthy people at first and only small number of patients with the disease. For some diseases, though, phase 1 clinical studies cannot be completed without patient participation at all.
Okay.
These trials are very difficult to conduct. I need to tell you that, especially when we are looking for patients versus healthy volunteers. Phase 1 trials are designed such that there is no real possibility of improving the volunteer's condition. We need to be open about that. However, there are opportunities to make very important contribution for patients who are motivated by the desire to defeat the illness, both for themselves and for future patients to come.
For the
Even
better,
if
for the better good.
participation, yeah, even if the participation in the trial itself may not give them relief. These studies are crucial for advancing the developments of new and better medicine, and and without volunteer involvement, in this phase of research, the overall objectives of drug development cannot be achieved. Simple like that. It's a bottleneck that we have to go through to get further.
Yeah.
Speaking about further, phase 2 trials. So we have done phase 1. We know the drug is safe. We
Okay.
know how to give it. So phase 2 trials continue to test the safety of the drug. But at this time, we begin to evaluate how well the new drug works. Phase
Okay.
2 studies enroll a relatively small number of patients with target disease. These are patient trials. They are often called proof of concept studies.
Oh,
As
interesting.
they,
Okay.
yeah. So these are studies that allow us to have a first look of combination of efficacy and safety and tolerability. So these are the studies that precede phase 3 trials, and the phase 3. So as I said, the phase 2 trials enroll somewhat small number of subjects. When we decide that the phase 2 trials are successful, or the sponsor decides, then we go to phase 3 trials. And these studies test efficacy of an investigational new drug in comparison to no treatment, what we call placebo, or some people say sugar pills,
Okay.
or it can be compared to current standard treatments. So a participant will usually be assigned to treatment groups at random. Means that the participant doesn't know which group the participant participates in, and very often the investigator doesn't know,
I thought,
which
yeah,
is
I heard
called
that.
double blind.
Yeah.
Phase 3 trials often enroll a large number of patients and be conducted at many doctors' offices or sites or clinics. It can be nationwide or even worldwide. Based on these trials, the phase 3 trials, the state regulators make decision of either to approve the drug or not. So the phase 3 trials are the trials that actually lead or don't to the approval of the drug.
Okay.
And then the final, so to speak, phase of drug development is phase 4, trials that are post-approval studies. After the agency approved the drug to be used in public, in the patients, the purpose of the phase 4 trials is to continue to evaluate the side effects, risks, and benefit of a drug over a longer period of time and in a larger number of people than phase 3 ever could achieve.
Interesting. So does California Clinical Trials Medical Group get involved in all 4 of those phases?
We are rarely involved in phase 4 trials. Our site is in operation for 30 years, and over this long time, we have made reputation for ourselves as one of the flagship central nervous system trials. So we focus on phase 1 and 2 clinical trials, although we do at times participate in phase 3 as well.
Okay, and so I think you said it, but let's ask the question anyway, just so we can make sure that the audience understands. What types of trials is California Clinical Trial Medical Group mostly involved in?
Uh, Mostly phase 1 and 2, mostly.
And
Although, as
most,
I said, as we speak, we still have a couple of phase 3 trials in setup or going.
and I have a feeling that many of these trials are also in the neurological area.
Yes, as I said, in the 30 years, we've done everything, but over this period of time that we are in existence, we made ourselves known as one of the major central nervous system research sites. But said that our research portfolio is very broad. We are currently working on medications for infectious disease, immune disease, autoimmune disease, metabolic conditions, heart conditions, among others.
So, and I think I've said to you early on before we started the talk this morning that I have known California Clinical Trials because I've been at this for 30 years. So we were probably born about the same time, California Clinical Trials and Parkinson's Resource Organization. But I've had outstanding and wonderful friendships with the people who are involved with CCT, and I'm so grateful. So to our audience, I have to ask the question, would you like to find a better medicine for Parkinson's disease? And I'm just pretty sure that you're interested in doing so, or maybe you'd like to know a little more. And so let's talk about the ambiance of CCT, or California Clinical Trials Medical Group. I've seen it, and we don't have pictures of it today. Can you kind of tell us, is it a laboratory, or is it a hospital, or is it a hotel?
A little bit of all, but our facility in Glendale, California, with a beautiful view of downtown Los Angeles and the surrounding mountains of the Glendale area. We have built our facility with patients' comfort in mind. Our clinic is a very bright and spacious space, very spacious. It is run as rigorously as a hospital ward, with around the clock medical supervision, 24/7 nursing staff, monitoring patients' progress in the trial. We encourage volunteers to bring their computers, cell phone, and books to utilize in their downtime. We can also accommodate caregivers staying with the team on the unit during the trials. So I would say it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
All of it. Yeah.
I think it looks like a vacation I might even be interested in going on. I said that to our groups at times. Is CCT working on any specific trials right now? And if they are there enrollment requirements? And if somebody is eligible, how do they know if they're eligible or not?
Okay. Yes, we are currently running clinical trials for Parkinson's disease. This trial researches the effects of a monoclonal antibody, an antibody that is specifically designed to target certain aspect of pathophysiology of Parkinson's disease. The candidate for it is a candidate for what we call disease modifying treatment, as opposed to symptom relieving treatment like carbidopa, levodopa. It requires two screening visits. If you want to participate in the study, it requires two screening visits to see if you are medically eligible to participate in the study. Screening days will include going over your medical history, current medications, a physical examination, blood work, vital signs, EKG, to trace your heart rhythm, magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, and some neuropsychological testing. So it's very rigorous, a very rigorous examination to start the trial. If you meet all the criteria, and I say you to our potential participants, if you meet all the criteria for the study, it involves a 6 days, 5 night stay in house at our site, and 7 follow-up visits to the clinic after you are discharged. The study in total would last about 3 months. You would
They're
receive.
not at the clinic for 3 months.
No.
No.
The clinic is 6 days, 5 nights.
Okay.
Yeah, but all together, starting with screening visits, going to the clinic, getting out of the clinic, and then returning for 7 follow-up visits would be uh, mm, would be about 3 months. Okay. The potential participants would receive 1 dose of investigational medication, and it's intravenously. And our medical team will ask how you're doing, and you're experiencing any side effects. We'll track it very closely. The study involves 3 lumbar puncture evaluation. These procedures help to determine if the study drug passes what we call blood-brain barrier, because we give the study drug into blood, but we want it to penetrate into the brain. And if it reaches the site where it's supposed to work.
Yes.
And if you qualify for the study and you complete all the procedures of the study, there is a compensation actually for
I was going to ask
participation
you if
in
you
the
could
trial.
speak in
And it's
remuneration.
if you complete the whole study, the compensation is $6,900.
Wow, almost
Yeah.
$7,000.
Almost $7,000 for the time and effort and obviously some discomforts that people enduring, putting their life on hold and participating in the trial. So we really would like the potential participants to reach out through our website. If you're interested more, of course, I can only give you a very small piece of
So
information
I
about.
will kind of go back and say the things that I think we learned this morning, that California Clinical Trials is primarily doing phase 1 and phase 2 trials, and we've discussed what those phases are. This is limited in number, not necessarily in scope. That people that are involved in the study have a criteria to meet in order to be eligible for the study. That if they are eligible, the person with Parkinson's can also bring a caregiver with them for this period of time. You didn't say this, but I think it's true that you will provide transportation to and from the clinic.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that.
Okay, and so it's almost taking a vacation yet while doing something so incredibly important for humanity, for all of humanity. It's not just for yourself doing this. It's not just for the bucks involved. It's for doing it for the greater good of the whole world. And so, having said all of that, and so for anybody that really wants to find California Clinical Trials, it's very easy to do. The Parkinson's Resource Organization website, parkinsonsresource.org, you'll see it on the video, and click on the Wellness Village and go to Clinical Trials. And there you will find Parexcel California Clinical Trials. So we're easy enough to find them or to get in touch with them. If you're having difficulty accomplishing that, call the office. We'll help you. That's what we're here for. So is there anything over and above that which we discovered that you think our audience should know?
2 things. First of all, we're updating our website often, so please come back. If you don't find the trial you are interested in today, please come back and look again. And second, just the most important thing, please help us to develop better medicine. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And yes, they have to see a lot of candidates before they actually fulfill the number of people that they can use in the trial. So we need a lot of you to participate, or to at least offer your participation. I kind of beg of you, because in the 30 years that I've been doing this work, I would very much like to see something that can really eliminate the symptoms would be my best thing. Cure would be my best thing. But what this particular trial is doing, from my point of view, is that we're finally trying to get through the blood-brain barrier. And we've written about this over and over and over. We won't be able to get a cure unless unless information can get through the blood-brain barrier. So thank you all so much for listening. Go to the website, find California Clinical Trials. Dr. Gertsik, I'm so pleased that you came on board with me this morning. I wish you a fabulous day, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Rosen. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.